Hi Cancer, how's it going? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Nine of Wands. And Page of Wands. Alright. Having Nine of Wands and Page of Wands, let's talk about first the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about you on the path to doing something that you want to be doing, something that matters to you. So there will be this inner fire for what you have going on. When Nine of Wands is there, it kind of gives context to a struggle that we're experiencing, so you can know this is where I want to be. I feel like this is the right path for me. Simultaneously, this is really difficult. So you sort of have that going on. As Nine of Wands sort of feels like the perception of experience, even though you know that you're doing what you want to be doing, you can still feel like there can be questions about it at times. You can know that it's going to be worth it to you. You can know that it even is worth it to you right now. You can know too that this is not for the faint of heart by any means. Some issue is being addressed. I think too that you can go into this cheerfully, as is the energy of the Page of Wands, or this can be made into a bigger problem than it needs to be. That doesn't mean that it's not going to be difficult doing this. What this means is that if this is really something that you want to be doing, it's going to be worth it no matter how difficult it is, because you know in your heart this is something that you want to be doing. And so anything that comes up is just something that needs to be worked out. Like, it's just part of it for you. I want to know why the Hanged Man is here. Maybe this is even about looking at conflict or looking at issues from a different perspective, like rather than it being like, oh great, another inconvenience is here, more so like, oh, this is like part of the path as well, that this is just part of it. Especially when you're feeling, I think, discouraged or like, I don't really want to be dealing with this right now. Why do we have Hanged Man here? Yeah, I think that this has to do with the way that you're dealing with things currently. Seeing that this is the type of refinement that you go through, that like that's also part of the path as well. That's what this is feeling like to me, that if you weren't facing struggles, if this wasn't challenging you, if it wasn't difficult for you, if this were just a cakewalk that you were on, it feels like all of the skills that you gain from things being difficult, from feeling like you're being pushed to your limits, from having to work things out when it's challenging, having to address conflict, it's like you wouldn't be developing those skills, because those skills are also part of it. And seeing that as like the problems are also part of the path, like the problem solving is also part of the path. So even though you can look at it and feel like I only signed on for these things knowingly, like you also signed on for this stuff too. And so it's very much part of it, and it's not out of place. And it can be a time when that's being reflected upon. So your perspective can shift just about that stuff, the stuff that isn't already there working properly, but that you have to work it out to make it work the way that it needs to. I'm seeing Eight of Cups, Knight of Wands, Ace of Swords. Okay. Ace of Swords below Five of Wands feels like this thing that you've been trying to figure out here, it actually gets cleared. So I'm seeing there be a resolution. I get the feeling like you were possibly considering walking away from something because of it being challenging. I don't think that it was necessarily that you didn't want to be there doing it. It feels like we have the Page of Wands here, so it shows that this is where you want to be. Making sure you're not putting yourself somewhere you don't want to be, but being where you want to be, even if there's stuff that needs to be worked out. I wonder too if this has to do with maybe you not, let's clarify this too. With this Eight of Cups, it can be that you could be getting a clearer idea of what resonates with you and what doesn't resonate with you, and discerning what that is properly. Kind of like when your job is done, knowing when to let go versus when it's not. And you can also be looking into what's yours and what's not yours. What's yours to be doing, concerning yourself with, and also what's not. This is about a new chapter for you. I do get the sense that when we have Eight of Cups and we have Hanged Man, what this means is that there's an evaluation. There's an evaluation about what works for you and what doesn't. This means too, like, what do you actually feel connected with versus what are you just holding on to out of a space of familiarity and comfort, versus it actually feeling like it nurtures you within your life. If there are certain things that you feel like, I have these expectations, or even more accurately, I have these needs, the reason that I'm here is to have these needs met. If that's not what's happening, why am I still holding on to this? Where is that coming from? Am I doing it out of familiarity? Am I doing it out of fear? Am I doing it out of comfort with routine? Why would I still hold on to something if when I really look at it and I reflect, I realize that I'm not getting what I need? And even that something is not, it can feel like empty entirely, and that being the notion of recognizing when something is complete for you, when something is not yours any longer, when there's that break off, when there's that disconnection. And that may be something that's challenging, the letting go piece. But it's not like, this isn't about letting go of something that's still relevant to your life currently. This is just about releasing what is, like, what's empty now. Recognizing what's empty, releasing what's empty. And that being something that you discern from a place of feeling too, which can sometimes be difficult because there's a difference between something actually nurturing us and there being a sense of fulfillment versus attachment to something. And that can also be what's coming into question as well. Am I attached to this and I'm still not getting what I need? Or am I keeping this here because it's still providing me with something that allows me to feel connected, that allows me to feel tuned in, that provides something for me, that brings some type of color into my life, or connection into my life? And this feels like having to go through the challenges of releasing those things that are no longer in resonance anymore, releasing those empty things. Even though it's like, if you're holding on to something because it's full and giving you something, if you look and you realize this is empty and I'm still holding on to it, it's about evaluating that. Like, why would I be doing that? If the purpose of this is for it to be full and to be giving me something, but this is empty and I'm still holding on to it for some reason. Why am I doing that? And sort of checking in about this, because what I'm seeing is that there's a new chapter that's opening up, and there's new stuff now that's calling to you. There's a very exciting path that I'm seeing here, and where this feeling of conflict has come from, that I'm seeing you having a breakthrough with. So as we're nearing this, I'm not so much seeing it be conflict any longer. I'm seeing this be something you've worked out. It was basically like you had two options. One was hold on to something that's empty for whatever reasons those were, even when the purpose is for it to be filling your cup, but there's nothing pouring out of it, versus go in the direction of that excitement, of that inspiration, of the path that you feel magnetized towards. And then which one of these do I do here? And realizing that the path is so obvious, the path is so clear. You go in the direction of where you're being called, rather than holding on to this empty thing and then wondering why there's that disconnection there. And that's what I'm seeing is happening. This feels like pretty cut and dry as far as what I'm seeing. This looks too like there's a karmic loop that you're stepping out of as well too. Like you're coming out of some type of cycle that you'd been in before. When I was tuning into your energy before the reading started, I was seeing a wave, and it looked like, I'm pretty sure that I've seen this image before. It looked like a wave, and it looked like the picture of the golden ratio, where it's actually those boxes. It was like a wave within the box. That's what I was seeing. I feel like things are clear now about the direction to go in, that it's not so much a thing anymore. Like it's very clear and obvious that the new chapter, the fresh energy, this is the way to go. Follow your inspiration, follow your excitement, and realizing too that something that you were considering as being an option is actually a non-option. The only reason it was an option is because you still hadn't realized it was empty. But in this moment, realizing that and then seeing that the path becomes obvious, it's no longer that split anymore. And that's the way. All right, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.